Wakanda forever. Good morning, everybody. It's the pollinator, and it's been a long time since I've made a video log, um, otherwise known as vlogs. To me, I don't think anybody else ever uses that term, do they? I don't know. I heard it a long time ago when I first started making videos. I've been um, making YouTube videos since the earlier part of 2016. When somebody that I went to a meeting with suggested I started making videos because of the content of the things that I was saying in the meetings. It was a transgender meeting, and I said, maybe. And then I was chatting with somebody on Fuckerbook, and this guy out of nowhere, I didn't know him. We were talking about something unrelated, but just the way that I chatted on that platform was pretty much the same way that I talk in everyday language, or everyday, that I talk to people, is the same way that I am online, virtually anyway, I should say. But he suggested I started making videos too. And after the lady in the meeting telling me to do that several times, and then this guy out of nowhere suggesting I do that, I said, okay, all right, I'll do it. And I've been making videos ever since. But lately I have not been online. I mean, it's very difficult for me to express how I'm feeling these days about being censored and ostracized and having all 10 years of my data taken from me by employees of that platform without a reason, without ever talking to me anytime. They kept messing with my account, and I don't want to be explicit about what that has caused for me. Not to people who can't do anything about it, because I don't want them to know exactly the impact that it's had on my life, because they would gloat. I'm absolutely sure that what happened was race-based, sexism-based, and transphobic, all in one. That I was being hit left and right on that platform by some jerk of employees that didn't like me, didn't like my politics, didn't like that I was gaining momentum, didn't like that I had my fingers in a whole lot of things there. Literally my fingers. From way back when, before I joined the military, I was a typist. That's what I did to earn a living, and I was very, very fast at it. And at the same time, I was a freaking drug addict. And I was taking speed and going to work and out typing everybody and winning, what do you call it, bonuses and contests and stuff like that, because I type so fast. And now, I don't know how many years later, 50, almost 50 years later, I got up to near like 120 words per minute. My mother also typed fast like that. So I can type a lot, and I could talk to a lot of different people. I operate with a computer, not cell phone. I got something on my lip. At any rate, shit. Oh, here I go again. I lost my train of thought, or what I was getting at. So I even typed up one of these videos and put them over on Medium. I also write over there on that platform, the Medium platform, and essentially what Fuckerbook has done is cut me off from any kind of distribution channel that I had. And that was also intentional. They knew that I was using that platform to promote a lot of different things, my business, interviews that I've participated in, both on radio, on podcasts, in person, and in writing. I've also, yeah, I'm also in a couple of articles out there by other people interviewing me and being part of a bigger article. And I've actually done that a couple of times, and I have reached out to a couple of the people that had me write something up for them, and they were going to include it in a bigger article with other trans men. So they there is absolutely no privacy on that platform, and so they were watching all of that, and they have been messing with me since 2016. The very first time something happened on that platform was, I don't remember who got murdered that year, but some black person got murdered in 2016, and I lost it. Everybody was talking about it, and I posted a video, and I think I talk about this in an earlier video, like in 2016 when it happened. But somebody posted a video of a black woman who was, I don't know if there was music in the background, but she was painting herself white. Her entire body, she was painting white with a brush and saying, I ain't getting shot by the police. And it was a bittersweet type of video, because we know what it's like in America, KKKA. We know what it's like here when it comes to the police and all of the mass murders. I'd say we're being mass murdered, but we're being picked off one at a time in various situations, where there's nobody around and they don't ever find anybody or find who did it. Or if it was the police, they get acquitted of charges. That white police officer lady who killed that guy in his apartment, she's filing an appeal to prevent from going to jail. They gave her 10 years. But anyway, we know what it's like to be black in America, and that makes us vulnerable targets to these white supremacists that are running around. And so I was having this conversation with this guy, and we were cracking up, talking about how we would go to Lowe's. Why don't we get together? I don't even know where this guy was, okay? It was just talk. We was just talking shit. And we would go to Lowe's and paint ourselves up from head to toe white and show up to a KKK rally and start some shit. Of course, we were kidding. Nobody in their right mind would do something like that and be black. Not if they could be seen physically, because there's no way to paint every inch of your body white. There's just no way. And the video was just ironic. It was just an irony of sorts. So anyway, me and this guy was having a good old time. I mean, we were just cracking up, talking about what we would do. And then I left the conversation, or I don't know what happened that night. But the next day, I came back and the post had been deleted. Really? So I pitched a fit on my timeline about them deleting that video. And so I found the video and I put it back. But I realized the whole intent of them doing what they did was to erase the comments, that some white person saw it, didn't like it, reported it probably. But the thing is they didn't flag it. They just deleted it. They didn't say anything to me. And so I was pitching a fit about it on my timeline, and I found the video and put it back, but it defeated the purpose of the great time I was having with that guy. This is the sneaky little covert shit that they do to suppress us, to oppress us, to discriminate against us, to, do the white supremacy thing on us on that platform. Them employees, there's over Well, okay, I just read an article that said there's about 35,000 employees of that platform, and they're scattered all over the world. I mean, I had them doing things to my account like changing their password and flagging me that somebody in Texas was trying to get in my account. It wasn't anybody in Texas, it was them employees. They've got software they've got the same kind of software we can get access to fake out where your IP address is coming from your computer and pretend to be anywhere in this world and tell you that somebody's trying to get in your account. Didn't nobody have my password and didn't nobody have was trying to get into my account but them. They was just fucking with me because I put something on my timeline that they didn't like and somebody didn't like it, so they would do something like that to my account. The second incident that happened was me when I changed my name. The first time in April, I've changed my name twice, but when I changed my name the first time in April of 2016, after I created this channel, I tried to put the pollinator in the middle between my first and my last name. And some employee pitched a fit and started talking to me. That's the only time that they've ever talked to me. But he was trying to tell me that I couldn't have that nickname in there as part of my name. And I was like, wait a minute. There's a lot of fucking people on this platform that aren't using their legal names on this platform. They've got all sorts of nicknames. And why are you picking at me? Why are you picking at my name? Is it because I'm transgender? Is it because I'm black? Or is it because you don't like what I say on my timeline? This guy was very elusive, and he wouldn't tell me exactly why they were fucking with me about my name. And they said, well, you can, if you want a nickname, you can put it in your profile. But you can't put it as part of your name because that's not your legal name. Here's the thing. They don't apply the community standards fairly across the board. They do not see to it that everybody that uses that platform uses their legal name. So they were specifically targeting me. And I cannot, I've got files upon folders and folders and folders and files, tons of stuff that they had been doing to me since 2016. And they were just setting me up. Now, the minute that I started promoting that I was going to start putting pieces of my story about being Bob Gibson's son, on Medium, on that platform, is when they banned my account and told me, we can't tell you why. Needless to say, I had a dream, and I'm not going to say the dream because it would be, I don't know if it would be creepy or people just wouldn't believe it, but I had a dream in 2003, long before I knew I was a trans man. And the dream was so shocking that it woke me straight up, and I wrote about it. And I wrote it all out. I wrote every detail of the dream out. And since that time, I've lost it because I've moved around the country a little bit, and a lot. But when everything slowed down and I lost my career, I was living in a motel, and all of my computer equipment got stolen. And that story I had taken from paper and put it on that computer, but that computer got stolen. So I had to recreate the dream without all the details that it had when I first had the dream. And it has a lot to do with my purpose, why I was put here on this planet, that I figured out in 2016 when I started to wake up. My consciousness awakened. The black man in me woke up. Everything in me was electrified, and I was drawing lots and lots of people to me on that platform. I never looked for anybody. They would find me and start talking with me. And so I was doing things internationally, and I was gaining momentum, and they just couldn't stand it. They did not want to see me win. I called them my nemesis. You can look that up in the dictionary. that they absolutely had it in for me because they kept fucking with my account just almost every other month, sometimes every month, sometimes 4 to 5 times a month, and would never say anything. They never said anything. If I appealed what they did, they wouldn't say anything. So it was like having a ghost chasing you around because I didn't know who these people were. I didn't know where they were. All I knew is they worked for that company. So they did this basically because I must have appeared vulnerable enough for them to think, is he going to be able to fight back? Probably not. Because they know my story. They scoped everything out, I'm sure. They still have my data. They still can see everything that I put on there because they back that crap up on their servers. That's what that platform sits on. That's what everything on the planet sits on is servers. And they back those servers up. So my account is in their possession as though they own me. And that's some white supremacy shit. Like a fucking slave, and it's in the year 2019. That they think to punish me for just being me. And part of that dream that is so disappointing is that I was moving a lot of people. I'm not going to say where, but I was moving lots and lots of people. And at one point, my life was threatened in that dream. And the people that I was helping and moving and doing things for all got together and shielded me from that threat. Not in real life, folks. All that seemed to happen, all that I saw happening, is people distancing themselves because they didn't want what happened to me to happen to them. This world, the people in this world have become so self-centered. And folks don't even realize the extent of how far that goes. And I understand the duality. I understand the contradiction that platform is in people's lives because their social circles are there, their family is there, their friends are there, people are able to find them there, people maybe from their past. I had people finding me from my past. I had childhood friends that found me. I had people, old exes that found me. I had all sorts of people throughout my life who were in contact with me on that platform. And so I see that, people are being protective of their information because, yeah, if they had as big a mouth as I did and weren't afraid of them and didn't give a shit what they thought, what happened to me could happen to them. But the deal was they weren't me. So I don't think it would have costed them what happened to me to stand up for me, take a bullet for me. I've helped thousands of people in my lifetime. I have been doing that since I was 26 years old. Hell, I was doing that before I was 26 years old. But it really increased when I got clean and sober and I became a sponsor and a mentor and just a lot of other things that I have done in my life has been going on since I was 26. And somebody just recently said, you know what? You're on the flip side of when this all began. Because I was 26 and now I'm 62. 2662. And I was talking with a friend of mine who said, "Oh my God, your life has been so complicated." And I said, complicated. I don't know if that's a good word or not, but it has been very, very full. I've lived I tried to count them, at least 6 or 7 distinctly different periods of time in my life where something completely different was happening. 6 or 7. And this is just, one more of those things. that I have to figure out a way around. But see, there is almost no way around this one because they control the dissemination of information. They know it. Facebook is an empire. It is not just an average, ordinary private business in this nation. The government is all over it. They're using it and abusing people with it, the employees of that platform. And there was a petition created for me on my behalf. And in that petition, supposedly, they had a whole list of decision makers connected to that thing that the petition was supposed to go to because it had their email addresses stored. I doubt that's the way that platform actually works. That's the way it looks like it works, right? That's what they tell you. But they really leave it up to you to do all the work. And then they start asking you for money to promote it at exactly the same way Fuckerbook does it, which I refuse to promote anything on my business pages on that platform because I've seen situations where there was a man that had millions of followers. I mean, millions of followers. And they must have thought he was too big in the britches because I saw his YouTube video about it, that they deleted his page. He lost 13 to 15 years worth of work and all of those people that were following him on there. So they're very sneaky about what they do and very strategic in the things that they do to certain individuals. And once they target you, they'll stay targeting you until you either leave or they get rid of you. You know, I knew people that were way more popular than me. They had way more followers than I did. But the thing is they have money. They had a lot of money, and they won't go after them because they know that they can fight it. I'm retired. I'm disabled, and you know I don't have those kinds of connections, and they knew that too. They study people. They were doing experiments on people just to fuck with them and see how they reacted. They were doing psychological warfare on people without their knowledge. And just because you're on there, you sign up for all of that stuff. You're giving them permission to do anything they want to you, or with you, or with your data, and with your information, and with all of your connections, and the things you comment on, and the things that you do. And it's like one big brother type of ordeal over there. They are watching, and yeah, if you're just there for entertainment value or whatever, they're not gonna care about you. Or if you're you're not on there consistently, they're not gonna care what you do or say because you don't have a following. If you don't have a following, they're not gonna care about you. But if you were gaining the kind of fellowship that I was, white, black, red, yellow, brown, it didn't matter. People were contacting me from all over the world, and I was having conversations with people, and especially on my timeline, I had it so that people were, if they weren't afraid, they knew I was one courageous motherfucker, but most people on that platform are not. They're there for a specific purpose, a specific reason, and I had vast number of reasons that I was there. It wasn't just, so I could talk to my family. It wasn't just so I could talk to my friends. It wasn't just so that I could, get as addicted to that platform as most people were, but in a different way because I was using it more than it was using me. So I say all that to say, or I say all this to say that I do miss everybody there. And I'm still working on a way to get somebody who will take it seriously what's happening to the littler guys on that platform. And it's pretty much like it's happening on YouTube, but Google and YouTube are getting sued because of those tactics that they're using on smaller channels. If they get too big, if they look like they're starting to get too big, or they're going to start making money on that platform, on YouTube, on this one, they'll start getting people to flag your videos and try to delete your channel. It has happened. It has happened to a couple of trans men. And see, because I don't make video, I don't do this for a living. I don't do it regularly. I don't ever tell anybody when I'm going to make a video. I just make them when I feel like making them, and if I have time to make them. I did have a couple of people after me for a while to make, would say, haven't seen a video from you in a while. And I'd say, well, throw me a couple of dollars. I'll do it more consistently. But I'm not going to do it for free. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it because somebody wants to hear it from me. I do it because I feel like doing it. I'm not trying to give away myself to the highest bidder, or people weren't paying. There's a link in every single one of my videos. There is a link in the description of the video, right under that went to donations to my channel. And I never really specifically said, okay, look, hey, if you like this, subscribe, hit that like button, This is something that a lot of other YouTubers do on a regular basis, because that somehow promotes your videos out there, the algorithms in YouTube, and makes your videos more visible. But see, I never start with that. I never say, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and help me go viral. In other words, that was never the intention of me making videos, is so that I could become viral or this big smashing success, because I know the topics I talk about are real. They're not for entertainment. I'm not an entertainer. And I don't have the kind of ego that is looking for a huge following. Even though that started happening on that platform, or as it was happening on that platform, I was never looking for it. I was doing live videos with trans men to help create a table for black trans men on that platform. Because, look, our story is a little different than other kinds of trans men, because we're black. That is what people see first. They don't know we're trans or not. So the first thing that hits for us, we've got a double whammy that we deal with all the time. That is being transgender and being black. The white ones, the white ones don't have to deal with that double standard, that double whammy of people being transphobic. And let me tell you how big sexism is towards us. It's really a lot different than it is for black transgender women. But the sexism towards us was just as prevalent as daylight. People do not want to call us men. They don't want to treat us like men. They want us to be seen and not heard the way that many of us were raised as girls. So I think all of that too was a reason why they got rid of me over there, because I stepped into my manhood. I wasn't afraid of it. I wasn't running from it. I wasn't trying to straddle the fence of being a feminist and being a trans man. I wasn't playing none of that shit. I was just being me. And God, the pettiness of I wish I could get my hands on whoever that was. They probably put a fake name on the emails they sent me, a couple of emails telling me they banned me, and they just put a first name at the bottom of it. It said for their safety and privacy or some shit like that. They can't tell me why or what or any of that shit. But I wish I could get my hands on one of them. Tell you what, I think they were having meetings and they all got together and decided what they was going to do with me, which is kind of impressive and it's maddening. I wasn't spreading hate. I was annoying some people because they were suffering from cognitive dissonance and didn't want to hear it about black people, which is kind of funny because something similar happened to me in a meeting, a transgender meeting in this local area I live in. Something similar happened uh, because I quickly became an advocate of that meeting for any black people that were coming through there. And they would seek me out for resources in the area. Where else could they go where they can have more black people in the meeting than where we were? And one day, one of them white women went off and didn't want to hear it about black people. And it turned out that, and I said, well, I have to live this every day. So what are you talking about? And she was very competitive, talking about, oh, she helps people. Because I've always been helpful. That's just my nature. And so she was very competitive about that. And it turned out she almost got to explain a story about her before she went to Nam, and some racist thing. And I quickly almost jumped up and ran out of the meeting because it was like, you're not going to fucking tell. This isn't about you and your past and you're not being able to come to terms with the racist asshole that whatever it was you did in your past to somebody black. I don't want to hear it. And yeah, the time was up and I quickly got out of there, and then I told them that I'm not coming back. And they got the leaders of the meeting got together and sat me down and had a conversation with me about what happened in that group. And I told them, if you can't control stuff like that, then I'm not gonna, that's not safe for me. Not in that kind of group, and I'm not going to say what kind of group it was. It was a transgender group, but I'm not going to say where it was. It became a safety issue for me and an emotional safety issue for me to not attend that thing anymore if they could not control that person. I said, oh, no. And we talked briefly about having a black-only group, but there just wasn't enough numbers for them to justify creating a separate group for us away from the white transgender people. Because let me tell you something, the LGBTQ is extremely whitewashed and racist, and they don't cape for us either. So I was providing that kind of platform for black transgender men. And a lot of people had problems. Well, I don't know if a lot of people had problems with it, because if they did, they didn't say so in the comment areas of the lives. But they were enjoying it. I'm pretty sure, because I never knew any of the guys that I was pulling into those lives with me. I didn't know them personally, except maybe for one guy. One guy and I are friends to this day, but most of the rest of them, I would just go into groups and tell them I'm going to do this live, who would like to be part of it, and people would jump up and say I would, and then I would interview them and basically tell them what the topic was going to be and see, kind of see if they were on the same page as the topic, and then I would coordinate it all a month ahead of time, and then talk to them, and I just did my thing. To bring us all together when it was time to go live. But see, the resourcefulness that I was, the age that I am, most people have not experienced Jim Crow. I have. Most people weren't around during the civil rights movements. I have been. Most people don't have the background that I had, and I guess I was just too much of a threat around there, because I was, and I refused to be contained. Absolutely. Without anybody saying anything to me, no, I wasn't going to assume anything about why they kept messing with me. So, but I miss everybody, and people have contacted me in other ways. I'm gonna put the email address that you can contact me by. It's actually underneath the channel, but most people aren't technical enough to start looking around to see how they can contact people on that platform, because the messaging, yeah, I think they did away with the messaging somebody on YouTube. So I'm gonna put my email, my business email address in the description of this video. I don't know what I'm gonna call it. I have no idea. I'll have to figure that out when I'm uploading it. But I just wanted to put some words out that, you know, things are kind of going okay. My dad is doing great, considering he's in his 80s and he's got pancreatic cancer, and he's going through treatments, and he's rocking it. He's a warrior. He is my hero. I've let him know that numerous times throughout my life, that that's what he was for me, that's what he is for me. And I'm dealing with an incredible amount of sadness from the isolation that they have forced upon me through what they have done. And somebody watching this, if they are watching, because there's a lot of times I don't know who's watching this stuff, because if you don't have a public Google account attached to YouTube, I'll never know you subscribe to my channel. So they could have one of the fucking employees watching my videos to see what's gonna come out. And I really didn't want to get into what I just did, but I did. I had to do it. And I don't know when I'm going to be back around here to make another video. I don't know. I've got a lot of things going on that I need tending to, health-wise, and other things that are going on. But I'm not going to go away forever. You can count on that. I'll be back. Just not as much as I was before, because I was getting a lot of my information of what I was going to talk about and things like that from that stupid ass platform. And since I can't even promote these videos on that place, if my friends try to do it, they'll probably get knocked down. I don't know. I do know one of them was trying to continue to promote my Medium articles, and they started flagging him doing that. So basically they scared the shit out of everybody, is what they did, to distance themselves from me. That should be illegal. They violate my First Amendment rights. They're violating the Constitution by the things that they're doing. That's why Zuckerberg is fighting so hard to become invisible, so that he can continue to get away with whatever he wants to. He is a 45 supporter. They had a private meeting where nobody knows what happened in that meeting. I'm sure there was somebody in there taking notes, but who knows who that was. And but they had a one-on-one, because that dude is trying to get away with becoming the biggest empire in the world. Social media empire. Can't nobody touch him in the numbers, with the functionality or the speed or the volume of information. Nobody can compete. And there used to be a time, folks, a lot of you don't know it, but there used to be a time when the FCC and the FTC did not let monopolies get that big. They did not. They would insist on chopping them up. And the last time that happened was with the Bell companies, when other telephone companies were trying to compete and couldn't, because the Bell companies were so big. So they forced the Bell companies to be split up into regions so that other telephone companies could compete with them. The fact that people don't know this shit is why they're getting away with it, is because people don't know how it used to be. And they think they don't have anything to learn from us old farts running around here who knew. We have a point of reference, an experiential, real point of reference for the way things used to be. And so they're not forcing businesses in society to step to the tune that they used to. And the FCC jumped in bed with big business, and they bailed out on consumers. The Better Business Bureau is the same way. The Attorney Generals in each state is the same way. Consumer Affairs has just turned into a complaint site, and they used to actually go out and help consumers with businesses, with business issues. And they don't do that anymore. It's just a complaint site. They don't help. They don't reach out to the company on your behalf. Things have... Americans have allowed this country to get away from them because they don't believe in history. They don't look at it. They don't read it. They don't know that it used to be different and that we need to return to some semblance of what it used to be. Not completely, because, look, for black people, we've never had it great in this country. But it did used to be better than it is now. And now it's just getting ridiculous. Democracy and the Constitution is being shit on and practically laughed at by powerful, rich white men. If the president of the United States can get away with that shit, what do you think corporate CEOs are thinking? The exact same thing. If he can do it and get away with it, so can we. So, and the American public is letting it happen. Just close your eyes and act like it's not happening. And that's not on your front door, your back door, and your side door. Just because you think it's not there doesn't mean it's not there. It's there. They are there, and Big Brother is watching. Straight out of George Orwell movie, 1984. So with that, I will bid you adieu for the night and let you know I'm down, but I'm not out. And everybody have a blessed rest of your week. Pollinator out.